Welcome back friends to the class number 84. In the previous two videos, we have discussed the concept of machinery term loan and building term loan. And now in this video, we will cover working capital term loan, that is WCTL. So what is working capital term loan? Why it is given? What are the key features of this product? Let us discuss all in full details through this video. So what is the purpose of working capital term loan? So the working capital term loan, friends, is given to you to manage the general day-to-day requirements of your business, not your personal purpose, for your business only, day-to-day requirements of your business. Now, before discussing any other feature, let me make you understand about its core theme. This product is, friends, generally considered as a negative product in banking sector. This product is given by the working capital department only, and it is considered as a negative product. Why it is considered as a negative product? Because WCTL is given generally, not always, generally when there is promoter margin shortfall in the business. Means when we assess the balance sheet of any entity, we need current ratio above 1. And if we are assessing the limits under MPBF method second of Tandon committee, we need minimum current ratio of 1.33x, right? So which would mean that long-term funds need to be infused in the working capital of the business so that the current ratio can reach up to 1.33x level. But sometimes what happens is, in MSME's cases, the current ratio of the client is say 1.1x or 1.2x, or the current ratio may be 0.95x, 0.9x, right? The current ratio is on lower side, which indicates that the long-term funds infusion or the promoter margins are not sufficiently invested in the working capital of the entity. And this need to be corrected. And how this can be corrected? This can be corrected only by infusing the long-term funds in the working capital of the client. If you are getting confused about this concept, I have discussed all this in detail in my previous videos, wherein I have discussed working capital gap, net working capital, MPVF methods. I have discussed all these concepts in full elaborative detail in previous videos, right? So what happens is, due to this lower current ratio, the MPBF eligibility is not meeting, and due to which you are not able to fund the required loan to the client, and therefore the client is not interested in coming to your bank because he is not getting his desired loan amount. So, but you are very much comfortable on the promoter. You are having overall comfort on the client. You are confident that the client is very good. He has invested sufficient money already in his business, and he is not having any other source to invest in his business, and he is having sufficient cash flow generation to repay the loans of whatever he has took in his business. So due to your comfort on the client, you want to give him loan. So instead of giving the CC limit, because there is a shortfall in current ratio, you give him the working capital term. You give him the long-term product, because you give him long-term product for general day-to-day requirement or working capital requirement. That funds will be invested in working capital, and that will ultimately improve the current ratio in projections of CMA. So it is generally considered as a negative product only given when there is promoter margin shortfall or long-term funds shortfall in the business, resulting in lower current ratio, MPBF not met, right? So thus the WCTL provides a long-term funds option which improves the MPBF eligibility, and it gives the funding support to the client as well. So in this WCTL product, after disbursing the working capital term loan, you take the CA certificate for end use confirmation as well. CA certifies that the WCTL is used for the general working capital requirement of the business only. So that is the purpose of working capital term loan that I wanted to explain to you. Now coming to the repayment, again this is a long-term loan which is repaid by way of monthly EMI, as we have learnt in machinery term loan and building term loan also. But the tenure of this loan, since this product is considered as a negative product, the banks generally give the working capital term loan from 3 to 5 years only, from generally 3 years and going up to 5 years as well. But some private banks with higher risk appetite can give the loans up to 7 years as well, right? So it can go up to 7 years, but that is a very exceptional circumstance. So that is why I have written the general trend in the banking sector, that is 3 to 5 years. 3 years is the most generally followed tenure in WCTL cases. So what is the security required in this loan? So this loan is given to you for general day-to-day requirements. There is no specific type of asset created out of this loan, or neither it is tracked out of this loan. So there is no primary security involved in this. In the machinery term loan, the primary security was the hypothecation on the machinery, and in building term loan, the primary security was the land and building itself. But in WCTL, there is no concept of primary security. Only you have to take the collateral security, the mortgage on your land and building loan, right? So how the working capital term loan is practically assessed in the banking sector? So this product is given by the working capital department, not by the any retail or lab department. So all the assessment is based on the DSCR. Banks check the cash flow generation of your business. They check your repayment obligations, and they compare whether you will be able to pay off the WCTL EMI on time or not, right? So that is the thing that they follow. So they calculate only DSCR, and if DSCR is satisfactory, they can allow you WCTL. In machinery term loan and in building term loan, you have studied that there is concept of 25% margin of the promoters, but this product, WCTL product, is given only when there is shortfall in the promoter margin itself. So this product cannot go and ask for 25% promoter margin. You understand that the core theme of the product was to fill up the gap of shortfall of promoter margin. So that is why there is no concept of margin applicability in WCTL product. And this product, there is no concept of moratorium as well. In machinery and building term loan, which is given for your new project, new capacity enhancement, new business developments, there was concept of moratorium, which allows you some time, some relaxation to pay off your to start paying off your principal amount of your loan till the time you set up your building, till the time you set up your machinery, till the time you generate sales and generate cash out of those sales. So that allowed you some breathing time. But in WCTL, there is no such need, because it is given to you for your general day-to-day requirements only. So moratorium is not allowed in WCTL product. Similarly, DSRA conditions is also not applicable here. DSRA is your kind of security. You take 3 months or 6 months EMI as FD. In case the borrower defaults, you can use that FD to repay your loan. But that happens only in the high risky project finance cases only. But in WCTL, it is general day-to-day requirements. Hence, there is no condition for DSRA here. DSRA means debt service reserve account. Now coming to the last point, disbursement. In machinery term loan, the end use, and in machinery and building term loan, the end use was strictly tracked. The banks prefers the direct payment to the suppliers in those type of loans, or they needed proof of your machinery bought by yourself from your own funds, and they reimburse the amount after satisfying themselves with those proofs. So end use tracking was strict in those products, but in WCTL you cannot do that. You can only take the CA certificate confirmation, because it is given for your general day-to-day requirement. So the disbursement is directly given to the firm's account. It can be CC account or it can be a current account. There is no concept of reimbursement. There is no concept of direct payments to the vendors here. So I hope you have understood WCTL product in detail. In the next video, we will discuss about the lab product. So stay tuned to this channel. Thank you very much.